So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So it's less than 24 hours left until the 10th anniversary Super Sugo-Fest, and we just got a huge news drop. But yeah, I thought for this video, let's just focus on the Sugo, so this video doesn't become like half an hour. And I think this is the thing most people are interested in anyway, so let's start with that. And yeah, there are some surprises to this Sugo. I'll say that part 1 is exactly what we thought, but part 2, 3, 4, 5 has some massive beneficial changes that we haven't seen before in Super Sugo-Fest, which does make it a bit harder, not gonna lie, to decide where to pull. So before I was quite confident in saying part 1 to the rest of you, and it's still the best part to start in if you only care about the new Super Sugos. But if you want like more than the new ones and also some good old ones, yeah, you need to start making decisions for yourself, basically. But yeah, one cool thing this Sugo is that we will get twice as many medals as usual. So yeah, that's a big deal since we can stack up on medals. Don't think they say anything else. One cool thing that we've learned that they mention here is that we get co-op boosters, but we only have to own them and not use them. So I'll talk about that more in another video, I think, but I think that's a great way of doing boosters and not limiting the team building creativity. They will also be on the treasure map, of course, as boosters. And they confirm what we already knew, that part 1 is all legends, normal legends, all Anni legends, and all Super Sugo legends. As we previously discussed, back in the 8th Anni, when we last had this type of Sugo-Fest for Anni, we also had the treasure map Sugo-Fest, and it's doubled up as a treasure map Sugo. But it does look like the treasure map Sugo-Fest is the 6+ Luffy part. We'll get to that later. And yeah, they talk about free multis. We will have some special gem packs. We'll have a special 100 gem pack, so that one will probably be pretty cheap. And yeah, other than that, it sounds like it's the usual gem packs we get every Super Sugo-Fest. Double super success will be nice, of course, for 3 days. But yeah, let's get into the actual units now. We know the rest. I already talked about the steps. Okay, so here's part 1. So remember, part 1 you can pull everything, but the thing that matters is the rates. And it says that we have 3 rate boosted Super Sugo legends. Remember, this doesn't mean the same as on part 2, 3, 4, 5. Rate boosted here is pretty meaningless, really. Like, we know how they handle debuts. Like, the only thing we don't know is like, usually all new legends together on part 1 will be 0.5% chance. But will they include Roger in this? I think they did for the 8th Anni, but the only way to be sure is to check the rates on debut. So what we should expect is like 0.125% chance for each of them individually, so that tells us up to 0.5% together. And the rest of the rate boosters should have similar rates, which means these. And then you have all of the other legends, like all normal legends, all Anni legends, all Super Sugos, and their rate will be significantly lower. So yeah, like if you put them together, it will be a sizable chunk, but you won't know what you get. Like, let's say you really want the Super Sugo Big Mom, like you will definitely not have a good chance of getting her in 30 multis on part 1. But you will have a good chance to get a variety of these Super Sugos, if that makes sense. And of course, part 1 has the by far best steps as well. You get a lot of legends, higher chance to hit that 0.5% chance for a new legend. It's just that you won't know which. And basically, if you only care about new legends, you should always start on part 1. And then the question is, depending on the luck, like when do you change to another part? And yeah, if you want more info on this, on the subreddit Discord, on the subreddit, on the actual subreddit, I should say. It's rarely we talk about the actual subreddit, but we have a guy called Muffins there who does rates, and he linked his 8th Anni guide, which should be pretty similar to this one. So I'll probably try and remember to link it down in the description. But basically, it's a lot of common sense. Like, let's say in the first 10 multis, you pull Luffy and Shanks. That means that Ace and Roger together will probably have 0.25% rate. So obviously, if you want them, it might be better to swap to Ace's part, Roger's part. And it also, but of course, it depends on how much you pull. Like, if you've done 23 multis on part 1, you're very close to that 30th multi with a guaranteed Luffy, Shanks, or Ace. So yeah, that also have to be kept in consideration. But yeah, it's sad that there's so little other booster. Like, it's cool that we have the V2 Red Luffy booster, but yeah, you're going to get other Anni legends and Super Sugo legends, but the issue with part 1 is that it has such high variance. Sometimes you get lucky and get a lot of them. Sometimes you barely get anything, and of course doing, let's say, 30 multis on a Super Sugo and not getting many Super Sugos, that extremely feels bad, man. So yeah. And so yeah, part 1 is pretty similar to usual, but there's been a huge change for the other parts. One of the things I've hated the most, like not just for Super Sugos, but Super Sugos in particular, but also like all other limited Sugos, is that we get so few of them on every Sugo. Like in past Super Sugo celebrations, they put like max 4 on one part and spread them out like crazy. It really sucks. But this time, like, just look. Like part 2 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 4% chance of getting a Super Sugo every single multi. Like, that's pretty good. And a lot of these are good. Like, is there any bad unit on this part? Like, I wouldn't say so. Like, all of these are really solid. Like, some have aged worse than others. Like, I don't really want to call anyone here bad. Like, all of these are very useful to have. So part 2 is pretty insane in terms of Super Sugos. And then we have some Anni legends. So if you can include the Anni legends as well, we're talking 5.5% chance. Every legend is 0.5% chance on these parts, part 2 and onward, of getting it. And this is by far the best rate we've ever had on any Sugo like this. Like, it's pretty insane. So yeah, I get pretty tempted myself, not gonna lie. Like, I like a dupe of a lot of these. There's not many here I have level 150, so yeah. Then on part 3, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as well. And well, only 2 Anni exclusives, yeah. Big shaft, no. But still together, these 10, 5% chance of getting them. That's so good. And this one might be even better. Like, we have some real meta legends here. Like, I talked about Shanks yesterday, and he grows on me. He might be the best of the bunch here, of the new ones. Anni, also arguably the best unit in the game in many ways. Same with Luffy, 6+ or 6-star Gear 5 Luffy. Nami still going strong. Roger still Roger. Shanks still cool. Kaido and Kid have fallen off. Kid should get a 6+ eventually. Then Anni Ace is a bit whatever, but Blackbeard is very much viable. So yeah, part 3 is also pretty insane. So like, pooling here, you can get so much good value. Like even if I get good luck on part 1, because I will definitely start on part 1 myself, like doing a few multis in every part probably won't feel too bad. We'll see what I do later. I wasn't planning to pull a lot this Anni, but like it's hard to know if steps like this is, or pools like this I should say, is special for the 10th Anni, or if this is the new status quo. We'll have to wait and see in the future. Part 4, probably a bit of a weaker part, but not super weak. Like Roger Odin are fine, but I've said it a lot with Roger Odin. They are not going to age well. I feel like they've already started to drop off in viability. Kid Law is super iffy. They have unique abilities, but maybe they'll see a resurgence with Shang, since you can make easier use of their super swap now. Luffy Yamato have fallen off hard in PvP, still okay in PvE. We won Red Luffy, I think is really fun, but definitely dropped off in general. The 6-star Luffy Dex 1, the 6+ works incredibly well with Ace, so that's going to be very fun to try out. Yamato still fine, got level limit break buffs with Odin as well, so yeah. And Odin you really like for PvP, of course. And here we also have the V2 Red Shanks, Sabo. Sabo is still at the top of my tier list with a few other units since he's so versatile. I think I'll stand by that. He's definitely a unit you want to own. And Wives, still pretty fine. So yeah, probably the worst of the steps we've seen, but still very good. And over 5% chance of getting a Super Sugo or Anni Legend, really good. And then part 5 with Roger, also 10%, but this is more even between Super Sugos and Anni Legends. And the Anni Legends are not the best. Like I'd say that Kobe is basically a meme. Like good in PvP, but in PvE he's a meme. The Zoro, heavily power crept. Scabbards are getting better, not gonna lie, with the new slashers and everything. Like mono slasher team with Scabbards, really good with their final tap. And of course Roger is pretty damn good, pretty godlike. And the Super Sugos are pretty good themselves, like you want to own all of those Super Sugos for sure. So yeah, part 5, not bad either, like all of these parts are so good. So it's going to be impossible to tell people what part to pull on really, like it depends on what you lack and what legends you want. The good thing for this Anni, I say, is that all of the new legends are so good, you can't go wrong basically. So you can just focus basically on like what units do I want on each part, how much percent do they tally up, and you can go like that. But yeah, despite this, it's probably wise if you can to start on part 1 still. But of course, if there's one legend you want more than the rest, like go for it. Like with pools like these, it's going to be pretty good value, hard to be very hard shafted. The thing that is great with part 1 though is that let's say you do 30 volts on part 1. It's the only part where you can get more than one of the new legends. And it's also a pretty good chance to get more than one. It's even like if I had to rate it, I'd say it's very likely to get 2 new legends, very possible to get 3, 4 you need to get lucky, and to only get 1 you need to get really unlucky. But some people will only pull 1 and it will feel bad, but that doesn't change the fact that you got shafted if you only got 1, and the odds of getting shafted is pretty low in this case. I can't give you a number since I'm not a math guy, but it's just how it is. So I'll definitely go part 1 for the dream of getting as many of these as possible and some nice bonuses. But yeah, if you only care about Super Sugos, like the other parts are definitely high quality and should be a lot higher rate to get any Super Sugo. But of course, you can only get one of the new ones. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you how to pull, I've just given you the info now. But yeah, before ending the video, we have one more Sugo for Luffy. And this looks like it's going to be the treasure map Sugo-Fest. It also has Robin and Jinbei, who are lower boost for the Blitz, so it makes sense to me that they are a higher boost for the treasure map. And one interesting thing with this treasure map that actually worries me a bit, not gonna lie, is the fact that they only include 6 pluses of Super Sugos. So this means that of Luffy you can only pull a 6 plus here, and all of these units have the same rate. So these 6 plus also actually have good rate. It's 0.5% chance. And the worrying thing with that is that they might actually do the thing that people are worried about. I didn't see it as realistic before, but since they structured the Sugo like this, it might actually happen. So the thing people are worried about is that for treasure map, like we usually have 3 boosters. And if you look at the new characters on this part, like we have 3 units. But we also don't think we'll get the Luffy skulls in time for the treasure map. So we might have a case where this Luffy is the highest treasure map booster, but we won't have the skulls. So only way to use this Luffy treasure map is to pull on this Sugo. And before, usually with these Sugos, like getting the 6 plus on the Sugo, super low rate, basically a meme, but now it's very pullable. And it's not just this. We're going to talk about co-op later, but this made me sigh when I saw it. They include the Luffy here, and it's a big buff. It's the same as all of the new other Super Sugos. So yeah, that's quite, I'm not going to say, well, some will claim it's a scam, and I'm not going to say it, but the thing that kind of makes up for it is the fact that this Sugo is actually pretty cracked. Like, we're looking at 9 Super Sugos, some incredibly good ones. And for newcomers, they don't have to buy the skulls to evolve. So for a lot of people, this Sugo is going to be incredibly good to pull on as well. Not only that, you have basically every treasure map legend available. The only one lacking here is Atlas, which I think is ludicrous. Like, put Atlas here as well, like WTF for sure for me. And then not many normal legends. Like, I've never seen a Sugo with, we're talking, how many is it? It's 31, I think it said. We're talking 31 legends, and only 8 are normal legends. Like, that's absolutely insane. I feel like this is, I think it's not 31, right? Sounds weird. But yeah, like here we have 9. And this is less than 15, less than 10. There's like no way it's 31. So I'm not sure what they're talking about. But yeah. Maybe you can pull these as Super Sugo or 6 plus as well. They should have shown it then, I feel like. But anyway, let's skip that. Like, what we know here, it's pretty good. Like, everything here should be, where's 31 on a 50%? Like, I'm a bit unsure about what the rate will be on these. Yeah, I have to go back and check the rates here, but it should maybe be 0.25% then, which is still pretty good. Maybe the new Luffy will be a bit higher, we'll see. But yeah, the chance of getting some really good stuff anyway, but obviously need to look at the total rate to see if it's worth it. But still, it's a shame they want to try and force people to pull here, both to get the Luffy, definitely for co-op. We know he'll help for co-op. And then maybe being the biggest treasure map boost as well. We have to wait and see. But also as being the only way to get Robin and Jinbei apparently. So I was going to skip this one, but since it's actually good, I might actually end up pulling a bit here as well. We'll see. But it's not going to be where I start at least. But yeah, overall, super excited for this. Less than a day to go, then we pull. I will try to stream. I just have a bit of a personal conundrum, I can talk about it in the end of this video, I guess. But basically, I'm a Eurovision fan. I'm not going to say I'm the biggest one, but I'm a fan. And my family, especially my mom, also a fan. And we have a tradition to watch together. And yeah, basically a bit of a Eurovision nerd during the Eurovision week. So the thing is that the Eurovision will end 1 hour and 30 minutes before this Sugo-Fest starts. Since it starts in the middle of the night, it starts 2 hours 30 minutes earlier than usual. So yeah, it's going to be very weird. So basically my biggest conundrum is that I'm going to be watching Eurovision at my actual home, but I can't stream here, mostly because there's a lot of people, there's no privacy. But the main issue is that the internet here is horrible. It has so many issues. I couldn't trust streaming from here. It's a lot more stable in my summer house, which is close to my workplace as well. So what I'm leaning towards right now is that after the Eurovision at 1 in the morning, or 1 during the night, I should say, I'm going to get myself to my summer house, set up my stream equipment and such, and then probably stream. And then we'll see how much energy I have. I definitely want to get some rest ahead of next day, since we're going to be trying out the new legends, trying out co-op, but most importantly, making use of the 10 times Anni ship with the berry farming for me personally. So yeah, going to be hard to fit everything in there, but yeah, let's do our best. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I'll probably make another one talking about the other news later. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.